Alex Fedotoff. Alex, do you want to give a quick word and tell us a little bit more about today's session?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Like, let's see if we are live.
Have only sound, no video. Okay, clip the moment.
Should be live as well.
Let's.
Only has sound, no video.
Do someone see the video?
Yeah, we're live now.
Sees the video. Okay, and then we're live already on Alex's page. I see it, and we're also live on YouTube.
Welcome. I mean, who doesn't have YouTube or Facebook? We're reaching like 3 billion people with this webinar.
Yeah, 3 billion at least.
Minimum.
Perfect. Let's get started, guys. Today we're talking about conversational commerce. We've got our specialist, Alex Fedotoff, the master of Facebook ads buy-in, and Lucas, a merchant selling doctrines, but also being a social media guru for Gorgias. So we're super happy to have this crowd on board. And I think, with the current situation being what it is, we will start with giving you a full assessment of the coronavirus trends that we're seeing, the categories that are up, the categories that are suffering a little bit more, so where you guys can reassess your business and find opportunities to grow in time of crisis. Any other introduction word, or we're jumping right into this?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Perfect. All right. Conversational Commerce Store. Welcome, everybody. Quick word on Alex. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So we sell e-commerce products on the internet. That's
a lot of it. I can see 100 mil.
Yeah. So that's basically in combination. It's. I mean, we surpassed that like number long ago. Like that's for clients and for own business. Yeah, we probably done like probably more than like 55, 60 now. And so and it's like mostly with Facebook advertising. We also work with some bigger brands like Lululemon, Under Armour, Pop Socks, and we focus on conversion process, like overall, like seeing how the from initial like touch point. So that's where a lot of your stuff is coming, like very helpful. Basically from the initial touch point, from the person like who doesn't know about your product, about your brand, to getting that person to buy and buying, again and again, if you can, right? Like if that's kind of the business model you're in. So yeah, that's basically what we do.
That's great. And a quick word on Lucas.
Yeah, so I started my first e-commerce business back in 2014 as a little bit of a side hustle. Actually, it was literally 5 years ago today that we jumped in full-time, selling in-person, online subscriptions. We started making dog treats for our guys, and then ended up in probably 1,000 retailers across the country, including all the Winners, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and a few pet chains as well. So a good blend of all the different revenue channels. But really what we did when we were launching that helped us have a high lifetime value was those one-to-one interactions with our customers, which is what we'll be talking about on this webinar today.
Great, and I'm Philip. I'm the head of partnerships at Gorgias. Before Gorgias, I was operating a 8-figure dropshipping business with several stores, and we were Gorgias' largest client back in the days. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fitness gear, fitness accessories, leggings, and today we're helping over 3,000 merchants, upscale and optimize their back-end operations. So automating customer support, managing social media better, and then also leveraging conversational commerce on chat and other channels. And that's exactly what we will be talking about today. So let's jump right into it. But just before, what are we seeing across all merchants during this coronavirus phase that we're in? So we aggregated the data of over 2,500 Shopify stores, and we're seeing across the board a drop in order count of 33%. So yeah, it's 2/3 of what it was a couple of weeks ago. And you can see at the beginning of the situation here, there was a spike. So everybody rushed, bought everything they could online, but then it fizzled out. And right now we're sitting at about 33% decrease month on month versus the month of February, which is usually is not especially strong either, right? We're coming out of the holidays and so on.
People want to pay off their credit cards. February is traditionally a very low month. They don't want to go outside yet. But they also bought everything at Christmas, so it's a very interesting spike.
Yeah. So let's dig a little bit deeper into what it means for Facebook ads. So the overall spend has stayed for, and that's data that was provided by our partner Mute6. So they're one of the largest Facebook ad buyer in the world, based in California. They have over 300 very large brands working with them. So the spend across all channels for all their clients stayed relatively the same. Some went up, some went down. But when we see the CPMs from March 7 were at $9, and right now across the board they're below $6. So 30% drop on CPMs on Facebook within a month. That's pretty crazy. So there is opportunities in there for people that have the supply and have the capacity to ship at this moment, something that people need to stay at home. Food and beverage, that the spend went up. Conversion rate at the beginning of mid-March, people were really worried. So when everybody was buying the toilet paper, they were also buying food online, and the conversion rate was definitely scaling up. And right now the spends are increasing a little bit, I guess, to try to keep that momentum that they had a couple of weeks ago. Beauty and skin, same thing. Conversion rates are up, spends are up month on month, but now we're seeing things normalizing a little bit as well. It's a little bit more normal. Home goods, home workouts. If you can, I know there's a lot of drop shippers on this group. If you can find supply for shipping equipment of home workout, you can crush it. The issue is finding the supply. But these items can drop ship well in special lines or with DHL. If it's a higher amount, those lines are still operating, but they expect some delays there. Fashion and apparel, that's harder hit, right? So if you were selling clothing online, that's definitely a little bit of a tougher spot right now. So the spend dropped quite a bit, but again, here it's normalizing. So where the food and beverage, was increasing quite a bit a couple of weeks ago, fashion dropped, and now it's coming back up to semi-normal levels. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe people aren't getting used to the current situation, and they're figuring out that they still need to live. Health and wellness. I mean, do we need to explain why this is strong right now? So if you're selling products that have some type of health claim that you can support around immunity, and that's definitely going to do very well right now. So yeah, that was the little COVID. There's some questions. Is this interactive so we can raise questions while you speak? Of course, please. Yeah. Phil, everybody drop your comments on Facebook, on the live stream here, and we'll be more than happy to answer them live. And we can even invite you on stage. So if you have any insights about conversational commerce and you want to chime in on how you're deploying those tactics in your business, just tell us. We will have you on the website and on the cast, and we can look at your website, do some live critiques of it, and so on. So please, yes, everybody jump in, and we're more than happy to have you on board. For coronavirus strategies, also that's something that we're reviewing yesterday for how can you review your copy to address the current situation. So we see, for example, Brava Home. Well, obviously that's a meal kit delivery company, so they're doing pretty well, but they were quick on readapting their message. It's we're all feeling that new home cooking diet right now, right? Obviously, yeah. So everybody's at home, they're not going out. So, and they're showcasing a guy literally in a small kitchen in his apartment, trying to cook some stuff. So you can absolutely reassess your messaging on Facebook to acknowledge what people are living through right now and make your ads relevant to that situation, and that will perform better. Is everyone leveraging Heath Freeman? Yes, we're having a slide about messenger bots. So if you want to come in, Heath, at that moment, we'd be more than happy to review those strategies with you guys. So what is conversational commerce? Let's get started. It's for us at Gorgias, it's about helping e-commerce merchants increase their conversion rate through one-on-one real-time interactions. And yes, that can be on Messenger, on Facebook comments, on live chat, through reactive email. Like, how can you sell more when somebody asking you, where's my order? Lucas.
So for Treats Happen, it's funny that you mentioned Messenger. It was by far our best converting channel with the drop a comment and the growth tool, because people want to share. So right now for us, it was always, hey, post a picture of your dog to get 2 free bags of Treats Happen. We got to update the website a little bit. We went through some supply issues, but if you go to treatshappen.com/freefill, this was our Black Friday promo. So the Messenger chatbot would send to this link, and then it would also do a few drops. So you go to free and you get your first full-size bag of Treats Happen. This is a pre-purchase funnel, so you can add to cart, then you get your next free bag. So it's a great way to move some additional inventory, but also if people say, hey, want to do this promo, for us, the cost of goods sold on 2 full-size bags was less than doing a $5 off coupon. Now, we are shelf stable for 2 years, but we want to get the inventory going over as much as possible, and we're also collecting data where our customers live. And all of this started with post a picture of your dog in the comments. So anytime you can get people to post a picture to fire off that messenger bot is a huge advantage. But one thing that we saw, especially because we have an older client base and what we've seen with our data at Gorgeous, is the number of conversations customers are having and asking are still maintaining the same, even if there's a drop in sales. So in this instance, we have our messenger bot firing. People are then asking, oh, do I have to pay shipping? Can I get more than 1 bag? Can I choose my flavor? Every question that you would think that they're asking, people, or that they might have, they're asking in a way that the messenger bot can't handle. So if you want to make that sale, you have to go and push off. That was our other funnel that we did. It was the discounted gift card, because we know that most gift cards go unclaimed. So who doesn't want $25 of free money?
Yeah, I mean, I've been upsold twice already in that funnel. Like, I'm about to check out with a huge bill. And somebody was asking, how does Gorgias collect conversion rate data? That's a very good question. So right now, what we see is for SMS and chat, when it's a pre-sale question, so somebody contacting you before purchasing, if you reply within 10 minutes, you're going to convert into 28% at least that conversation into a sale. And
so example is using the dog treat example. Can I choose my flavor for this promotion, or is it available in this size? Alex, I'm sure that big brands like Lululemon and Under Armour get all kinds of questions, especially now. What are your ship times? If I'm if my company is putting on a virtual yoga class and I need to order some yoga gear, I want to know if it'll be able to receive that by the date that I need it. So it's a lot of those pre-sales questions, especially now where it's just something that's related to logistics. Are you even able to ship out right now?
Yeah, definitely.
And so how we're tracking actually is we're seeing if there was a sale prior to conversation attached to a Shopify profile, and then if there's a sale within 7 days after the conversation. So, and here you have an example of a shoe brand that's pretty large. On December 2nd, they had 494 pre-sale chat inquiries. Within 7 days, 230 of these converted into an actual sale. That's 46% conversion rate on chat of those pre-sale inquiries, and you can track all of this in a dashboard that you don't need to connect anything, no need for UTM links and so on. But you see also a small caveat on how these guys are being able to do that. Their first response time is at 2 minutes. But that's just to illustrate how the potential of having a brand or having an operation that's like that cares about the customer experience and that is on top of their pre-sale inquiries. It has crazy amount of potential to increase your conversion rate as a whole. So let's talk about real tactical stuff now. So here, just a quick example, and then I'll pass it off to Alex and Lucas. But when you're receiving an email about somebody asking you something like "Where's my order?" or how to return and exchange, like how can you transform this email or this normal customer service inquiry into an opportunity to sell more? Well, for example, if you have a loyalty program, you can remind automatically your clients how they can how they can redeem their loyalty points and how many loyalty points they have in their account. So here you have somebody asking, "Where's my order? By the way, you have 230 points. You can redeem them here." So you're driving traffic toward a program that's often feeling neglected. So that's one way. Or like if your order marks as delivered and somebody's like, "Hey, where's my order?" It shows delivered. Like, "Hey guys, like maybe it's in your, like most likely it's in your box or it's with your neighbor. By the way, here's 20% on your next purchase." So I'm curious to hear, like, what have you seen, guys, like as upsell techniques on reactive customer inquiries? Like, have you ever used something like that? What's your best practice here?
I think, like from my perspective, like we have, I'm seeing like now like different perspectives how this can be utilized. So we, like what we do, like for example, like with the advertising, we'd often utilize and include the frequently asked questions inside of the ads, so people would see the kind of like the answers for their questions, like answered, for shipping, for sizing, depending kind of like what items those are. Like specifically, that's like relevant for for the sizing. So because in the clothing apparel, like a lot of times people don't buy because they're not sure about the size. So we let them know that there is a sizing chart available on the website. So all they need to do is just click on it. So that's one of the things that we have utilized. I see now like how what Gorgias offers, like it's incredible way to convert like those people who have certain like questions into actual buyers. That's very exciting.
Well, Lucas, how have you used like your reactive support question to sell more?
Yeah, so for us, our key metric was getting people to their third order as quickly as possible, which is why we just started giving the treats away for free, because it makes the barrier to enter that first order very easily. So in this case, we were really trying to get them to do two things. One is join our private Facebook community of just members, and this does two things. Was it really helps the organic reach of our social posts, but it also just was another touch point with our customers to get them to that third sale. And then also say, "Hey, since you like this product so much, why don't you do a subscription where you get free products to try with each additional order?" Because our profit per customer, if they weren't on subscription, was $67. If they were on subscription, it was over $300 profit per customer. So we wanted to get people on subscription as fast as we could.
Yeah, so and here I see just that's your website, right? Like, and you have a subscription in bold and so on. Did you ever try like putting the subscription option like already ticked, like as the default when people land on the page, or how did that go?
We did, but it wasn't. It lowered our conversion rate because people who were new didn't know about it, and they had questions of how are you storing our credit card. So for us, it didn't work out that well. We wanted to encourage people to try the products first, especially because we had a lot. Our biggest driver of traffic was organic. So if people are coming in, they don't know, they don't want to go on subscription right away.
Okay. Alex, I think we have a question for you in the chat. How long does it typically take to get your initial cost per purchase drop below your break-even cost per purchase? So, like, when do you break even? Is it on day one? Is it after a week, or do you need to invest a lot of money up front? And what differentiates one scenario or the other?
Yeah, very good question. So, with most products, for example, like with drop shipping model, it's we're looking for indicators typically on day one. So the product needs to convert like from day one. If product doesn't convert, then probably we will just like move on. We will dedicate like certain budget for testing the particular product. if that's kind of like longer term game and we know for sure that certain product is selling and there's demand and we just need to figure out the angle for it, then we would dedicate more time to it. We would give it like 3-7 days kind of to figure out and test different angles to find the right combination to sell those.
And what are the, like, if you think it's going to work but you don't have enough conversion yet to prove it, what are the other metrics that you're looking at?
So I mean, like, purchase is pretty much the ultimate point, but we also see if we break down the funnel into steps. Like, for example, the same way you utilize the conversational commerce to pretty much have those like little touch points with the person and answer their specific objections. The same way we break down the funnel, and from initial like touch point, we see so first, like, whether people are clicking, whether the ads are good enough, so whether click-through rate. Personally, we have the benchmark of 3% click-through rate link, so we are aiming for that. It's not always possible and doable with every product, but that's what we are aiming for. From there, we have a number of people who've added product to the cart. So if people don't add product to the cart, it means something with a product page, with a pricing, or kind of like how we position the product, people don't see enough value in it. So we kind of like break that down. Like, we see if people are adding to cart, and then from people who added to cart to people who initiated the checkout, we see whether that those metrics are good. So typically we are aiming for like, for example, at least like 50% of people who've added to added to cart to like initiate the checkout. And so kind of like breaking down the funnel into like those smaller steps and like reverse engineering from the end. So if people don't buy, like, why they don't buy and where exactly they get stuck. And that's exactly where your like conversational commerce like comes into play, because you can answer those particular questions to people and kind of like remove those bottlenecks and things that stop people from buying.
It's super interesting insights, man. So we were talking about messenger bots, right? So let's see if Heath, do you want to come on stage? Are you still in? Let me check if you're here. I'll invite you if ever you're available. Yes, I'm inviting you if you're available. Oh, the event is maxed out. I need to remove a seat. But let me boot you up for a second, Lucas. And
I knew it was going to be me.
you're taking the cut, man. Close video. All right, you're out, and we'll have you back. Let's see if Heath wants to come on board as we're addressing messengers, and then we're gonna have Lucas. Right, come on back. Invited a few seconds ago. Reprompt. Let's do it, Heath. Otherwise, I'll have my buddy Lucas come back in. But yes, messenger bots. So I mean, we're still seeing strong use cases for messenger bots, and that fits so well in the whole conversational commerce aspects, because you're really creating a lot of touch points through the experiences where people can engage with you. All right, Heat rejected. Let's have Lucas back. And so here's an example that was like very successful for a client of ours. So Wholesome Culture, their POD vegan brand. So they were everything POD from a third party at the beginning. Then they moved to their own facility, and they're now now printing internally. So they have their own printing supply chain. So they scaled like to over $20 million in sales last year. Congrats to Audrey for her amazing growth. But basically, they have this messenger ad, click to messenger ad, that is like, hey, we're all about the bees. We help save bees. We're ethically made. Click on here if you want 10% off your purchase. And then when you click, it's a messenger bot that kick off, and they're like, hey, again, we're like, I'm from customer support. Let me know if you need help with anything. By the way, your money is going to saving the bees as well. Click here to save the bees. And then you land on the page again, and it's still talking about saving the bees. It's just like 3 touch points about the same thing. But what's crazy is that this is not direct to the product page, but it's still it was their highest performing ad at the time. And so you can find ways to push a message and create those communication opportunities along the way, and that will yield insane results. So I'm wondering, like, what are the best use case for? So I know Lucas already touched that, but for messenger bots, Alex, have you already like deployed them? What's working? Is it like more straight discount to product, or more telling a story, creating customer service touch points, or what's the right approach for you guys?
I mean, from our side, like we haven't utilized it. Like I see now, like how many different angles you can have, like how many different like touch points you can implement. So yeah, we haven't been utilizing. At most, like we would do like some discount or something like very simple, but like including these like basically touch points with exact like pain points and re-emphasizing like certain things that are important to customers that we haven't utilized that. So I mean, we left a lot of money on the table, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's a couple more questions that are coming in.
Hey, Phil,
go ahead.
Comment in the chat box as well. If you're selling as a brand and you don't have a call to action on your About Us page, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because customers will go read your whole story, what your mission is about, and then they're ready to buy, and you just leave them hanging.
So how do you deploy that technically? Like, what's the best practice to communicate that?
I mean, you know what? It's super easy. Is just look at your analytics, and if people are going to the About Us page, create a banner that you can embed 1 or 2 times throughout it. So as you mentioned that you're an older company who just came online, say something like, oh, in this year we launched our online store, you can click here to shop it now, kind of thing. So just pepper that in as well as you are telling your brand story. And with some of the chat bots, you can use that as your downsell funnel of, I'm not ready to buy yet, and then say, okay, no worries, here's our story. So it keeps you top of mind while people are getting ready to purchase.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, for your brand, for example, you're like, hey, my dog, let's say your dog had some issues, and that's what led you to create this dog food brand. Like, on the About Us page, if you're telling the story of like the digestive issues of your dog, like and then it let us create the original product, right? And would you transform your About Us page in a product page with like, at the end, this is the first one that we ever launched, and that was the original recipe to save the digestive health of my dog. Boom, right there in the About Us page, and then you're having like
100%, 100%, but also bust every objection that you can on your About Us page, because it's like a resume. It gives you a chance to brag. So if you're using a really eco-friendly packaging that's truly biodegradable, talk about that on your About Us page, because nobody will say, oh, I'm not buying because of this. But when they read it, they say, oh, this is really good. I can support them with it.
Great. And there's more questions that are popping in. What do you think of manual bidding to scale Facebook ads? I use BidCap a lot and see better results than the lowest cost. Would love you to have your opinion. So now, like, everything is CBO, right? This is where it's going. Facebook is gonna stop all the rest. You just upload your creative and that's it. So who has the best creative wins. But still, manual bidding right now on April 8th, 2020. Is it still relevant? What's the best practice around it, or is CBO the way to go? Alex, I'll leave it to you. You're the buyer.
I mean, yeah. So, by the way, we still use a lot of ABOs, and we still see like good results with them. So, CBO is not like mandatory yet. Like they delayed it. They wanted to make it like I think it was like February when they wanted to make it like mandatory, but they still didn't make it. And so. Yeah, for manual bidding, if you have like the product that kind of like proven to convert, and like that for example your conversion rates are good, your like engagement are good, so pretty much all you need is just to show your product and just win as many like auctions as possible, then definitely like manual bidding and like target costs, like they're also working well for more like consistent delivery. Overall, yeah, I think it just like if you have something that's like proven to work, then you can definitely experiment like with manual bidding, because you just want to maximize that possibility, that opportunity that you currently have. But if you don't have, for example, your kind of like initial things like setup, like for example, you don't know whether the product converts, you don't know, like you're not profitable with like regular setup, like with just automatic placements, lowest cost conversions. Like if you're not profitable with that, then manual bid is not something that you should be playing with. You should play with your product market fit, with even kind of like identifying the pain points why people don't buy. That's why this what you bring to the table with Gorgias is is incredible, because you can figure out like why people don't buy in the first place. If you have like the best like conversion rates, if you're profitable with that, then you can definitely maximize the opportunity with manual bidding with other like advanced things. But first things first, and you need to get those fundamentals in place.
In the same vein here, so we got fitness product bracelet, $14.99. It costs him $1. Shipping $4, so you're at $5. So yeah, 33% COGS, and so break even $10. Yes, ABO versus CBO to begin with, and how many ad sets per ad sets or per campaign.
I think that's me again, right?
Yeah, let's go, man. $10 drop shipping budget, man. You gotta make it even.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's you can do ABOs like to start with. So yeah, just like five to 10 relevant interests, like depending on kind of like how aggressive you want to be with testing. Interests that are relevant to your product. You can also test somewhat wider interests like engaged shoppers. And basically like 2-3 creatives. I mean, having few variations of the creative like to start with, like it's very important in my experience, because then you see whether, because if none of those like creatives converts, then for sure that something is off. And if none of those like interest converts at the same time, then that something is off, right? So and you need to identify whether there's whether people want to buy the product like in the first place. So you want to have like multiple variations of those things. You can start with ABO depending like kind of like how big your budgets for testing are, like $10, $20, $50 budgets per ad set, and just see whether like whether you get any traction with. I mean, for me, like I'm always looking for the, as kind of like the most important metric, I'm looking for the conversions for the actual sales. For example, and the very easy way to identify if product actually converts is to just, let's say you're testing multiple products, let's say it's, general store, or you're trying to find that product that you can get momentum with. You can basically divide the number of purchases that you have by the number of unique link clicks. So then you will see the exact conversion rate for a specific product. And, if you have the product that converts, but your ad metrics are not where they need to be, then you can just improve the metrics and get product to profitability and scale it.
Let's talk about a quick way to improve the performance of your ads that is like so often overlooked. It's actually engaging on your own comments. So I just created a poll, by the way, to see a little bit of how much you spend on Facebook. But independent of how much you spend, you will always have people commenting on your ads, either giving love for it, tagging their friends. Yeah.
On the poll, can you give us some options there?
I said 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000 per day, and 1,000 plus. Is that enough option?
Did you? I would just see how much do you spend on Facebook per day. I'm not getting any.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a crowdcast
on the panel, but if other people can answer, then.
Yeah, let's see. Don't hesitate to drop it in the comments as well. But yeah, so independent of how much you spend on Facebook or on Instagram, you're gonna get people interacting on your ads, either with negative comments or with positive comments, or just with general questions about your product. So what we've seen, we tested something at Gorgeous, and that applies very well for people dropshipping, is that you can reply almost automatically to everybody that has a positive interaction on your ad. So if they're like, hey, this is amazing, I need this product, and so on, we can segment those comments and then reply with certain variations of a small Facebook comment reply. So for example, this one, it's like on Brenttown, there's a lot of emojis. Then there's a 4-letter discount code. So it can be like PL10 for 10% off, or you can just say love, all in caps, use discount code love to get 10% on your ad spend, on your order. And what we've seen is actually that this discount code was responsible for generating 5% of the ad spend in revenue. So you're replying systematically to all your ad comments, and it basically gives you free remarketing. People are getting notifications that the brand replied to them. They're being brought back to your ad. Now they see your incentive to visit the website, and then they go through the funnel and still use that discount code at the end of the day, even if it's the only place where it lives, is really up the funnel on a comment on a Facebook ad. That's still the one that they will go through the checkout with. So 5% of your ad spend, if you're replying systematically to all your positive comments and increase sales, it's really worth it. And I'm wondering, like, if you guys have tested some stuff like this with your clients, or if you, Lucas, on your brand, how do you engage on Facebook comments or on Instagram to make sure that people are incentivized to visit your website?
Yeah. So speaking quickly as a smaller brand, the first thing is keep an eye out for any negative comments of people saying, oh, I ordered a while ago and I still haven't realized. Because if the UPS guy kicks the order or the house or something, and it's not your fault that the customer didn't get it, they're now saying on your ads that you're paying to run that they didn't get it. So you want to keep an eye out for that and then either resolve it or just hide it. But people ask a lot of questions, from everything from where you source packaging, where's the product's made, to responding to them just has such an increased rate. We weren't tracking it, but we would see the people that we would respond to, their orders coming through. So there was definitely a correlation when we were doing it. I would be tracking it a little bit better now. But I mean, it's almost like if you were to go into a physical store and ask a question and not get a response. So it's just, for us, we saw a lot of sales just from people asking questions on the ads. The ads almost got us those conversations, and then it was up to us to close the sale. What about you, Alex? What do you see with the brand and clients and members of your communities that you work with?
Is it too hard to stay on top of those comments when you're scaling ads, or do you find ways to still do it?
Yeah, I mean, so we have it like, I mean, with brands it's different depending on the brand, kind of like how they structure that communication. With like the way we do it is, yeah, we respond like manually so we have virtual assistants like responding to those. I think it's not really the ideal like setup, not ideally streamlined, and so the way we do it is we have like templates that are pretty kind of like the standard templates, and the issue it's not like always personalized. So we would get like lots of comments, but everyone would just get the same like template. That's the main like bottleneck was making it like as personalized as possible.
At scale, it's tough, huh? It's like training the VAs to add a little bit more context around each comment. I get that. Just a shameless plug here. One way that you can do that at scale. So if you're scaling like thousands of dollars in ad spend a day, so you can use machine learning in Gorgias to segment your Facebook or your Instagram. So depending on the sentiment of the people. So if people are like giving you a hard time, you can tag it as a negative comment. And on the other side, if they're saying that your brand is amazing and it's awesome and they want the product, you can tag it as a positive. So then you can separate in 3 main categories. So that's how we suggest that you guys do it in your business, that you separate your comments in people that are showing you love, that are the ones trashing your brand, and then the people that are asking questions. So then on the questions, yes, you can maybe customize a little bit more the answer and take a little bit more time. And then on the social lead, there it's more like going through at scale and giving them incentive to visit your website. And on negative, well, then you just want to hide everything. Okay, you might want to address that, head first. But yes, it's easy to do it if you're using machine learning. So you don't need to hyper train your VAs or think that they need to figure it out all on their own. SMS, guys, that's probably my favorite topic of 2019. Now we're in a new year, but it's still hyper relevant. Just quick show of hands, people on the live streams and so on. Have you tried yet SMS? If yes, what tool are you using? Which flow are working the best? And just a quick word on like how to build the SMS, campaigns. So you want to have some personalization in there. So you want to have your token, your Shopify token, pull up things like the first name and so on, and then maybe a dynamic signature depending on who's replying to those SMS. No plain text. You want to add some GIF images. You want to add emojis. You want to make it lively. And you want to make it breathe as well. So you see the example on the right side. It's like there is a spacing, there's a GIF images on top, and so on. And then it's not only about the discount. You want to create an attachment to your brand or your store. If you're more direct to consumer, like dropshipping, yes, it's about the discount. But if you're just one step beyond that, you want to maybe ask a question, how, like, if they find the product that they were looking for on an abandoned cart campaign, instead of just pushing them a 5% discount. And yeah, segment your list. So it's not one size fits all. You want to be a little bit like Klaviyo. You want to be surgical in the way that you address people by SMS. So it's definitely people that just did a browsing versus somebody that purchased a lot of product versus somebody that just abandoned cart. Like, don't blast these people all in the same way. They all have their own particularities. And one brand that we've seen that was pretty cool, and I'll just give one quick example on that, and then we can pass it on. But 310 Nutrition. That's a 9-figure supplements brand, so you can check it out, 310nutrition.com. So on their abandoned cart sequence, they're not pushing a discount code. They're actually like asking now their clients, what are your health goals? So that's pretty powerful, because then the clients are replying like, yeah, I want to lose weight, or, I want to be more fit, or I want to gain muscle mass. And then the customer service can come in and do product recommendations that are very accurate. So that's one of the use case that we've seen that's like goes beyond the discount code. But just the first step, have you guys installed SMS on your tool, on your websites? And what tool have you seen successful, and how have you been using it, and what type of returns did you get?
So for me personally, I haven't, because of a weird technical issue. Most of our clients are in Canada, and a lot of the SMS providers are US numbers. So we don't want to, and this is another thing to be aware of SMS, is make sure you're not forcing your customers to pay like 15 or 20 cents a message long distance fees to respond back to you. However, everyone that we work with, Phil at Gorgeous, that's doing SMS is just seeing unreal results. One of my favorite stories, Beard Brand, is post-purchase. They say, check this box to receive style guide, style advice via SMS. And so you take a selfie and then text it back to them, and then they'll recommend products that can help your style. So if they see me and that I'm in my head, they might say, oh, our moisturizer is great for guys that shave their head. Or it looks like you've got a bit of a longer beard. You might want to take care of that with something that's a little more hydrating and moisturizing for your skin.
Alex, I know you spoke a lot with Mike, our buddy Mike.
Yeah.
So how have you rolled out those solutions, or for your clients or for your own site?
Yeah, we use like cart abandonment do some broadcasts. We do the upsells like to customers. So we have like several. We use like SMS bump like for the SMS mostly, and I mean the returns on that are I mean, like tens of thousands percent. I mean, sometimes like $100 would deliver like $10,000 in sales. So yeah, that's basically what we are utilizing. We haven't like dug in like very deep into like all of the possibilities with that. The same as we haven't like explored all of the possibilities with conversational commerce. So yeah, after this conversation, I'll get it on my team. So,
yeah, let's finish this call offline and implement some strategies for you guys. Yeah, that's great. Quick word on the core of conversational commerce. If you guys get your if you manage to automate all your where's my order, all how to proceed to an exchange and so on, so we can help with that. But what's the next step? Like once you did that, so I mean, chat campaigns is where we're seeing that right now. It's like the next frontier of conversational commerce, and especially in the days of coronavirus where people cannot go in a retail store, it's so important to create a retail-like experience online for customers to feel confident about your brand. So I'm asking all of you guys, if you had a store, a retail location, and you're the general manager, the best employee in that store, and you're welcoming people like at the front door, you're right there, and people come in your store. Like, how would you welcome them? Like, what would you tell them? So, and I want you to think about the same way on when people are landing on your homepage on your website. How are you welcoming them? It's like, is it a simple message? Do you have a special offer right now because like you want some liquidation, or it's Mother's Day or whatever that is on one of the corner of the store? Or are you supporting a charitable cause? Are you giving back 5% of your profits to a hospital and buying protective gear for frontline workers right now? Like, do you want to? So those are the kind of messaging that you want to have on a chat campaign to someone that's just coming in your store. But if you move on and you're on your best-selling product, so we had the example of like the first dog food SKU that Lucas launched. That can be like to help digestive health of his dog, and like, so why wouldn't people purchase your product? I think that's the first question that you need to ask yourself. Are they afraid of sizing? Are they afraid of the warranty on it, or that the shipping is going to take too long? And you want to address that head front in a chat campaign on your best-selling product. It's like, yeah, like let's say you're selling women's shoes. Well, most women go half a size up. You're saying that on your chat campaign. Then they're being reassured by a fashion consultant. Hey, I'm Sandy, your fashion consultant. This model is made 100% from genuine leather, and most women go half a size up. Let me know if you need help finding the right fit. Having a small message like this can really, tell your clients that you're legit, that the concerns that they have about sizing and buying shoes online, and that you're there to help them make the right purchasing decision. So, I mean, chat campaigns on product pages are the most important. And that would be the same way that you would interact with them if you were in a real physical location, right? And the last one, and then I'll pass it on to Lucas and Alex, is let's say somebody in your physical retail location moves on to the checkout and with a product in their hand. What do you tell them? It's like, hey, did you find everything that you needed today? Like, just a basic upsell question, right? If not, let me know. Like, I'll tell you what else you can add to your cart right away, and I'll take care of you. And then if they're spending too much time on the cart page, why not give them a time-based offer? Like, hey, like, you've been here for more than 15 seconds, use free shipping to complete your purchase right now. And they don't see this message if they moved on already to the checkout before that. So just like that, I think this is a little bit like where we get excited this year as much as last year was SMS. Now it's like chat campaigns. So, and I'm just wondering what you guys think about those tactics. Like, have you ever tried something like this? Like, we've implemented it with a couple of clients. We've seen it's pretty good. But I'm just curious about your thoughts, Alex and Lucas, on what's the best case scenario for those campaigns on site.
Yeah, Alex, do you want to take the lead on this one?
No, you first, Lucas.
So my first caveat is don't run chat on all the pages, because a blanket pop-up is just, it's annoying and frustrating, especially if you already have an email capture or allow push notification. It's one more thing for people to close out before they can add to the cart. Start by focusing close to cash. Where is that? That's on the cart page. They've already shown a lot of interest that they want to make that purchase, and maybe they have a question like they can't find the PayPal button, and it's, hey, how can I, do you take PayPal? Sometimes it's just that simple. And again, really look at your experience compared to walking in a store. Are you trying to be a vending machine like you see at the airport, where you sell the Bose headphones from the Best Buy vending machine? Or are you trying to have that acoustic experience buying premium headphones like you'd get at a record store, where they go in and say, well, what kind of music do you listen to? You listen to a lot of hip hop? Great, you want these ones because they enhance the bass. Oh, you just want something to cancel out the noise, or to cancel out background noise, then get these ones. The audio quality isn't as good, but it's the best noise cancel. So focus on that close to cash as well, to help people make that purchase. And then long tail, to really play a little bit of 3D chess by helping people choose the right product. You'll increase your referrals, but you'll also reduce your return costs, especially if it is a higher ticket item like very premium headphones.
Alex, I don't know if you want to take it up, or if you want to take up the question from that we have in the chat. Alex,
yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I think yeah.
Question from Alex for Alex. What's the best app for one-click upsell right now?
I mean, OCU is good, the like Zipify tool, but like overall, like with one-click upsells, the direction it goes now is that like Facebook has its like limitations, and Facebook like already like restricted some of the apps from accessing, because they don't want people like messing with with the checkout page. So
Facebook, Shopify did that, right?
Yeah. Sorry, like Shopify, exactly. Shopify doesn't want people to mess with with standard like.
I think they want the money more. They don't want them to bypass the checkout so that they get the processing fee, right? I think that's
exactly, and they get they can upsell the Shopify Plus, right? So where people can actually customize the checkout page. But I mean, there are like alternatives. There's like sweet upsells that you can upsell people after they complete the purchase. But it's like only a few percent, like 3-5% typically the upsell take on that. So I mean, one-click upsell, like if you can still use it, if you can properly troubleshoot it, just make sure you don't if you have like well-converting checkout, make sure like you properly troubleshoot it, make sure it works with different browsers, different processors. Make sure you don't mess up the so people can actually complete the purchase. So
a sweet upsell, $15 app, or it's super cheap, right? And is there like a limit?
Yeah, and it goes like after the purchase. So on the order confirmation page, so people can actually but they would have to go through. It's not like one-click upsell. It's more like they have to still go through PayPal and kind of like submit their information.
Okay, so it's a second purchase, right? And and does it go through again? Does it bring it back? Like, does it create a new cart and it goes again on the same Shopify checkout or PayPal checkout, or it's like a new flow?
It creates like a separate order.
Yeah, it creates a separate order. Yeah, that's good. Very interesting. We got more questions for CBOs. When starting with CBO, how many ad sets and how much budget? And what are you targeting, broad or interest? And when you retarget, and what events to go after, when to do a purchase. LAA, I think it's a lookalike, LAL.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. So what about that? How many ad sets again? What budget? Throw $10,000, man.
How much?
10,000. No, I'm kidding. I was like, if you don't have 10 grand, start. Don't do it now. You can start with $10.
So yeah, I mean, typically like 3 to 5 ad sets per CBO is a good starting point. I mean, budget like $100, $150 is a good starting point. You can go, you can go higher like than that if you want like quicker testing. But like initially, like, we always like validate the concept first, and then once we see like the good like proof of concept, then we start like basically running like higher budget. So $100, $150 is a good starting point per CBO. So it could be like, I know some people like they don't mix like interest and lookalikes within the same campaign. We mix, and it it's still performing well. So you can have lookalikes, few lookalikes, let's say 2-3 lookalikes, and let's say 2 interests combined with the same CBO, and it still would perform well.
And in that sense, like you mentioned 3-5 ads. How do you differentiate the ads? Like what type of like copy differentiation, what type of creative differentiation do you go for right off the bat? Because like you just don't duplicate the same.
Yeah, good question. So typically, as a starting point, it would be either the first like 5 seconds of the video or the totally different video itself. So for e-commerce, the creative itself is the biggest kind of like factor. So we would start with different variations of those.
That's cool. All right, guys. Last quick recap on conversational commerce. First of all, if you're building a brand and you're not doing it, you're leaving a lot of conversion on the table. So we've seen over 28%, that's the average, and up to 46, 47% of pre-sale inquiries transforming into actual sales within 7 days after talking to someone. So how do you keep track of the performance of your conversational commerce campaigns? Well, the conversion percentage on chat, then the number of discounts that were used on social. So create a unique discount for your social, then segment your positive interactions and reply with different copy. You can have a couple of different copy that you just cycle through but are pushing the same discount. And those will be seen only by people because they're nested comments. Then what's your conversion rate per agent? So like, then do you see some agents are selling more than others? Like, are they taking more time to create custom answers, or how does it work? And then if you're able to keep on top of your first time response, that's going to have a positive impact for sure. If it's within like a couple of hours, usually by email, and then like within a couple of minutes by chat. And if you do that, if you do like the Gorgeous Playbook, which is first automate all the most frequent questions. So where's my order, or how to returns, and how to apply a discount. Those questions should all be automated so that you can spend more time on your social comments and on your chat. You'll see a 30% efficiency gain right off the box for your CS team. So that means you can either work with less members on your team, or you can reassign them to other tasks that are a little bit more value producing. Then you'll have an improvement in your ROAS if you're systematically replying to all your positive interactions. And finally, you can increase your conversion rate with chat if you're staying on top of that. So that's a little bit the playbook. And just a quick word on us again, we're the #1 help desk for e-commerce. We support 2,500 Shopify brands right now. Some large brands like Movement Watches, like Fjallraven, Steve Madden, but also the largest dropshippers in the game. So people that have 100 stores, all on Shopify Plus, that are testing a ton of product. They see tremendous amount of value in automating all the where's my order and stuff like that. So there's different feature set for different type of clients, but yeah, definitely large drop shipping as well. We do a lot of that. And yeah, so we have a stimulus plan for the coronavirus. And actually, let me just refresh this here. So if you want 3 to 6 months of Gorgias for free, and your sales have been hurt a little bit by the coronavirus in the last couple of weeks, you can just go to this link here, and we'll post it as well in the comments.
You can do the call to action button in Crowdcast if you want to drop it.
I'll drop that right away. So CTA, here you go, custom URL, Corona offer. Here you go, and we'll and we'll post it as well for in the Facebook group. And here you go. I'm just adding HTTPS. It's going to be right there, and then you guys can apply for 3 to 6 months free of Gorgias. So
that's a great offer, man. Like, that's a
yeah,
great
I mean,
offer.
so we were seeing what were the responses of really like Shopify to their community, and we're like, they're literally doing not much. It's like they're extending free trials, and they are also like giving this what was it, gift cards for every plans. But there was nothing for their existing merchants or like their Plus members and so on. So for us, we've seen that, as I said at the beginning of the presentation, 33% of the order like decrease in the last couple of weeks. So it's really good for our current customer. We're offering them that existing offer. So if we have some Gorgias clients on the call right now and you've been hurt, go apply for this program, and we might we'll credit your account from 3 to 6 months free, depending on how bad your sales took a drop. And all you need to do is drop a screenshot. So you just, hey, my sales decreased, please credit my account. We'll do that. And if you're a new customer and you want to try it, we'll give you the same offer if your sales have been hurt. And if your sales have not been hurt and you're saying that you're coming from the Rockstar group, then we'll find something to help you get started as well, and we'll take extra care of you guys. Yeah, that's it. If there's any, so I think, thank you so much, Hannah, for the comment. Phil, answer more questions. Which one didn't we answer? The product we did, the messenger bots, we went through that.
I think there may be a couple of questions for Alex on that, but maybe that's the live stream part 2 that you have to join the community for.
My latest question. Okay, yeah. So we want to sell a product that is currently hot selling. Home workout, man. If you have the supply, scale it, man. Product store is $40 and can afford a max of $20 CPA. It's pretty good. Reliable supplier. Am I late to the party? I still push a fresh pixel. No, you're not late to the party. The party started on this 7 days ago, and it's a party that's going to last a couple of months. So can you launch it today? That's like the real question. And then, yeah, just check your supply if it's really solid. And I've seen people that, you know, just the normal bands, like good quality bands, they're selling at $100. The guy usually was selling $50,000 a month, and right now he's selling $50,000 every 3 days. That was this week. So the guy reached out, is like, man, I gotta set up all the support. Usually it was good out of my Gmail inbox, but now it's like it's blowing up. We have way too many questions.
Awesome, amazing call and amazing offer you guys made. That's.
I've got to run. Thanks everyone for attending. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Phil. Both of you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you everyone who joined and watched. And thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Alex. Thanks, everybody. You have our information on screen. If there's anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
My number is not right. Like it's.
Okay, that's an old. Yeah, don't call him. That's his voicemail. You know, for the product that didn't deliver yet.
That's back like when I lived in Poland, but we moved to US. So.
All right. Well, I'll see you. Oh, by the way, where were you living in Poland again? Krakow or?
No, in Warsaw.
Warsaw. Nice. I was in Wrocław for a while. All right, Alex, my friend. Thank you so much, and speak soon.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Speak soon. Thank you, guys.